This book was an addiction, an unhealthy addiction. You could not have pulled it out of my hands or out of my ears because I tandem read it if you had tried. Hello, beautiful besties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey and I like to read a little bit. So fun fact about me, I used to never listen to audiobooks. My brain moved so fast, I was like, they are so slow. This was before I knew that you could speed them up, okay? And once I figured out that you could speed them up, which took me an actually embarrassing amount of time to realize that I could do that, I fell in love with them. I am now an audiobook listening machine, specifically tandem reading. I love to tandem read, okay? Especially because I have such a hard time focusing. Tandem reading really helps me lock in and not get distracted by outside things that are going on, especially when I'm like starting a new book or something like that. So I thought it would be a fun idea to go over some of my favorite audiobooks, some that I've tandem read, some books that I was reading physically and I just could not put down, so I had to download the audiobook and I still enjoyed it that way. I just wanted to share, I wanted to yap, and I hope you want to listen. So let's get started. We are going to go by genre, okay? Genre. And we will start with fantasy, romantasy, whatever it may be. We're gonna start in that realm. So one of my most recent tandem reads, I read physically and listened to Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriyu. This is so freaking good. And it is narrated by Jane Collingwood. And let me just tell you, this woman did so good on this audiobook. I was in it, okay? She did the voices well, she did the emotions well. I don't want like a Siri type voice whenever I'm listening to an audiobook, and she did so good. And if you haven't seen me yap about Heavenly Bodies yet, have you watched any of my videos? Because I mean, come on, I talk about it all the time. Heavenly Bodies is an adult romantasy. It is the first book in a series, and when I tell you that it is absolutely everything that I want in a romantasy book and more, I'm being so serious, okay? There's celestial magic, there's banter, there's cackling. I was cackling. The two main characters are forced to work together in order to defeat what in this world, their gods are stars, so they have to defeat a star. And they don't like each other. And the banter is so good, it's delicious. The tension, the burning, all of it. All of it. And the way that this book ended has me feral for book 2, which actually comes out this year. And you know I'm going to be tandem reading that one too, okay? Because the audio for this one was absolutely fantastic. I did not want to put it down. That is going to be the case with a lot of these that I mentioned, is the fact that I was reading it physically and then like I would have to drive somewhere and I would turn on the audiobook because I did not want to put it down. Okay, and then we have one that's actually really unique. It is Till Death by Miranda Lynn. This is narrated by JC, one of them, Pryor, and Teddy Hamilton. I can't remember if this is duet or what is it called? I don't know if this is the one where they talk back and forth to each other, where it's like immersive. What is that called? I have no idea. Words are hard. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna look this up. Dual narration. Dual narration is two narrators taking turns reading the entire chapters. Duet is whenever they exchange dialogue, essentially. This is a duet, but the cool thing about this one is that there is music in it at certain points. It's not throughout the entire book, but it like fully immerses you and really makes you feel the feelings that's going on in this book. This is a Moulin Rouge inspired fantasy, and the FMC is literally death. Okay, she's the morally gray one, and that was so fun. Okay, this is a standalone, but it is in a standalone series. I think you can read them out of order. I've only read this one, but I really enjoyed this, okay? This audiobook, highly recommend. If I hadn't tandem read it, then I feel like I wouldn't have liked it as much. The audio just really immersed me in it. It was really good. I love whenever audiobooks have music in them. That's very rare, I'm finding though. And then we have my most recent 6-star read. Okay, I love this freaking book. I just read it like last week. Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen, narrated by Sophia Oxenham. You guys, when I tell you that the audio for this was really good, this is one narrator, so she does all of it. This book will pull at your freaking heartstrings. Let me tell you about it first. They're soulmates that kill each other in every life. I can't tell you why. I want to tell you why, but I can't tell you why because it's part of the book. You've got to read to figure it out. But when I tell you that this book is yearning filled, the way that these two love each other is so beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. The writing, the prose, it's so lyrical. The audio was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I could not physically put this book down. It took everything in me to go to bed at a decent time because I had to get up and go to work the next morning while I was reading this book. All right, and while I was at work, all I was thinking about was this book. On my way to work and on my way home from work, I was listening to the audio of this book. Literally so freaking good. If you haven't read it, you need to freaking read it, okay? And you should listen to it. It's just even better with the audio. Okay, next we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and it is narrated by Kristen Atherton. When I tell you that I have never heard a woman's voice get as low and seductive as this woman's, death had me swooning in the audio. I mean, I don't know how she did that. I don't know how she got her voice to sound like that, but it is so enchanting. So in this one, the FMC, her name is Signa. All of her family has basically died, except for some like very distant relatives that she has, right? Well, she goes to live with these relatives. And when she gets there, she realizes Blythe, her relative, is sick with the same illness, mysterious illness that killed Blythe's mother, right? And she's like, no, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this because this is poison. She's not dying of natural causes. This is poison. Death comes in and yeah. Think murder mystery, but Bridgerton Gothic. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. And the audio for this is so freaking good. Oh my God. The narrator made this book. I mean, the book was very good by itself, but the narrator knocked it up. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And then we have The Witch Collector by Carissa Weeks. This is narrated by Meg Sylvan and Tim Campbell. When I tell you, what's his name? Tim Campbell? Tim Campbell's voice. Are you kidding me? Alexis, the MMC in this book, he was so romantic and he was down bad, and the audio for this one just upped the ante for me. That's how it is with all of these, okay? Didn't want to put it down. So entertaining. So the way that the magic works in this one is they have to sing in order to use their magic. Well, she is mute, so she can't, so she signs to use her magic, and it's really cool. So every harvest moon, the Witch Collector comes, and that is Alexis, our MMC. He comes and he takes one of the witches back to the Frost King. They took our FMC's sister in the past. In order to find her sister, she wants to get revenge. She wants to get rid of the Frost King and the Witch Collector. But things don't always go to plan. It was very fun, and the narrators did a fabulous job on this. City of Ruin is even better. This is also a recent read of mine. We have Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass, and this is narrated by multiple people. This is so freaking good. The four narrators are Meg Sylvan, Teddy Hamilton, Aiden Snow, and Tristan Morris. This is one of the best audiobooks that I've ever listened to. This is a love it or hate it book, okay? But I am a Greek mythology slut. And so I knew that I was at least going to like this book. Add in that the fact that the FMC is actually hilarious. This book was so funny, and she is just like us. She's just a girl. Basically in this one, it's post-apocalyptic, except it's because the Titans are on the earth. They are wreaking havoc on the earth. And she is a human, an orphan at that. Her foster father is in jail, if I remember correctly, and her foster mother, she gone, she did. And her and her foster brother live in the woods in a cardboard box. And they're just trying to make it to a certain point so that she can pass this test and make some money and make a new life for themselves, right? And when she goes to do this test, they prick your blood and it tells them if you are Spartan or not. And Spartan is like the Olympians. And turns out, hey, she's a Spartan. And so she is immediately taken and forced to go to this Spartan War Academy. She gets 2 mentors. There's also 2 professors. It's a why choose. I forgot to say that. It's a why choose. They're all scary, okay, to her. I personally was intrigued. She has to go through all of these classes and trials and all of these things, like they are starved, they don't get water, they're dehydrated, and then they have to go do all this physical activity, right? It's basically testing them to see if they could make it, how strong they are, how smart they are, all of these things, teaching them things along the way. This is a slow burn, by the way. It is so rare to find a slow burn why choose. Let me tell you, because when I say the burn is slow, I mean the burn is slow. I was in it. I had such a good time. I could not put this down. I was cackling, giggling, kicking my feet. All of them had completely different personalities, and their voices reflected the personalities, and the way that they would say certain things, the narrators would, it would just make me giggle. I was laughing the whole time I was reading this book. And sometimes you just need that. You need a fantasy that is hilarious, and this was fabulous. So if you haven't listened to this yet, I'm gonna need you to. Okay, thank you. And here's one that I don't see recommended enough. This is a YA fantasy, Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. This is narrated by, I am about to butcher this name, Saskia Marleveld. I think that's how you say it. I apologize if not. If you have heard of the Goose Girl fable, then that is what this is a retelling of. I had never heard of it, but I had heard this book was good, so I listened to this. I don't even think I tandem read this one. I think I just listened to this one. So in this one, our FMC is actually the bad guy. She takes the place of the princess by wearing these magical pearls that like transform her looks to make her look like the princess, throws the princess into poverty, takes her place, and starts stealing from the rich. All right, so it's kind of like Robin Hood-y in a way, but it's not for good. She's not stealing from the rich for good. She's doing it to get out of a debt that she owes. And along the way, things happen. It is so entertaining. If you are wanting a YA fantasy that on audio that is going to keep you entertained, this did it for me. You should try it. Let's go into romance/fiction, okay? These are just kind of like, I don't know if I would, they're kind of romance. Yeah, they're romance. It's romance. Bailey, can you just say words? So the first one is going to be the Grip trilogy by Kennedy Ryan. I do not see this recommended enough. Now, this is not my favorite Kennedy Ryan book, but it is up there in my favorites. It's probably my second favorite Kennedy Ryan series, if I'm being totally honest. This is narrated by Jacoby Diem and Maxine Mitchell. Kennedy Ryan is so good at making us feel the romance in her books while also talking about very important topics. Every single time, it gets me every single time. So it starts out with a novella. You have to read the novella first, and then you can read the other books in the series. And basically, Grip, the MMC, he's a rapper. And in the past, his manager, our FMC, and him have had a thing. But her heart was broken. All right, her heart was broken, but she still manages him, but they don't interact. And he has been pining for her ever since. I loved all of it. The narrators were absolutely phenomenal. I had an hour-and-a-half drive to go see my friend whenever I was reading these books. And I was reading before I left, and I could not put this book down. So I went to Libby. I'm so glad it was available because I could not stop. And I listened to it the entire way there and the entire way back home. And I had such a good time doing it. If you have not listened to this, if you have not read this, you need to, okay? Especially if you're already a Kennedy Ryan fan. Okay, and then another one that I read this year, actually, and this is one of my favorite books of the year. God, I've had some good ones this year, you guys. The Favorites by Lane Fargo, and this is a full cast, okay? So there's like 10 narrators in this one. If you liked Daisy Jones and the Six, like how it was like an interview format, and you also liked the toxicity of Magnolia Parks, then I think that you are going to like this book. These characters are so toxic. None of them are good people except for one. I love imperfect characters. I love whenever they mess up because it makes them feel more human to me. It's so good. The whole cast was so good. This was a fully immersive experience. Kat and Heath were professional figure skaters. And 10 years after their final skate at the Olympics, there's like a tell-all coming out documentary about them. And Kat decides, no. She's gonna tell us her story herself. So it goes back and forth from the documentary interview style to her talking to us and learning the truth about what's really happening. And it was just so good, you guys. This book was an addiction, an unhealthy addiction. You could not have pulled it out of my hands or out of my ears because I tandem read it if you had tried. I was staring off into space because I could not fathom what was going on in the book at times. They were infuriating, but it was so good. So if you like toxicity, read this book. Then we have dark romance. All right, let's get into it. Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. This is narrated by Elena Wolf and Jacob Morgan. And when I tell you that this is a funny dark romance, there wasn't a crazy plot to it, but it was so much fun. He is a stalker golden retriever. He breaks into her house and he's like, I shouldn't have been able to break into her house this easily. So I'm going to install a new alarm system, but I'm gonna continue to break in, right? And she's super into it. The whole reason that he breaks in is because he finds out that she has a thing for masks, and he is super famous for wearing a mask online. Nobody knows who he actually is though, so she's like, she's into the same stuff I'm into, I'm gonna break and enter. It's hilarious, you need to listen to it. And then we have The Cruel Dark by B. Northwick. This is narrated by Madison Mitz and Theodore Zephyr. When I tell you, I heard this man's voice, it sounds exactly like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Exactly like, I was enthralled by this man's voice. I read this during spooky season. It's a gothic romantic thriller, so it falls under the dark romance category, but it is so good. It's also historical. Basically, the FMC takes a job at this professor's mansion to help him organize all of his paperwork and everything. And when she gets there, things are a little weird. She starts seeing ghosts. That's all I'm gonna say about that because I think you should go in blind. It is so good, it's so gothic. Like I said, the MMC's voice, You guys, you need to listen to this one. Now we're gonna go into thrillers, and I am fairly new to thrillers because the only way that I will really read a thriller is by tandem reading or just audio, because I didn't think I was into it. So that's how I got into it. I listened to Never Lie by Frida McFadden. It's narrated by Leslie Howard. And when I tell you, I listened to this in one day, okay? One day. This was so good. And I don't know if it was necessarily the narration, but the story was really good to me. This couple gets stranded in the middle of nowhere in this snowstorm. Things start getting a little bit weird. It's actually the house of a therapist who was killed. But she finds the secret room with all of the therapist tapes with all of her patients, and it was like crazy patients, and she's trying to get to the bottom of everything, and things are starting to be a little weird in the snowstorm, and she doesn't know what to trust, and it's just so good. If you want a good thriller, Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Highly recommend listening to it because I feel like that extra element of, is that an element? Shock factor was better with audio, in my opinion. And then another one that I listened to was Phantom Limb by Lucinda Berry. This is narrated by Kate Marson. I wanted to read Lucinda Berry and I ended up listening to it. This one takes place in a mental institution, and the FMC, her twin sister, died. It did damage to her mental health, and things are weird in the mental institution. I feel like with thrillers, it's best to go in blind. So I'm not gonna tell you anything more than that, but just know this audiobook had me thoroughly creeped out. The mental institution aspect, I think, really added that extra layer, but this audio was really, really good. I don't even think I read this one physically. Okay, and then one that I recently listened to, and this is one that I didn't know if I was going to like this book or not, but I did the tandem because of that, because I wasn't 100% sure that I could really get into it. I listened and physically read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. It was narrated by Polly Stone. This is about two sisters who live in France during World War II and what they have to do to get through that. And it was so heartbreaking, but so good. The audio pulled so much emotion out of me. I also feel like I wouldn't have been as immersed if I had physically read it and not listened at the same time, because there were a lot of like French words in there and stuff like that, and I wouldn't have known the pronunciations, and that would have driven me crazy. So if you're going to read The Nightingale, I highly recommend tandem reading it and listening to it. That really helped me. I teared up in this one, and the audio just made it that much more amazing. And then I do want to mention two that I am going to be doing on audio when I do my rereads this year. I'm going to tandem Magnolia Parks, because have you heard? If you have not heard the narrators for the Magnolia Park series, I need you to go look it up right now. Like, go find it somewhere and listen to like little snippets or something. The accents, the voices, oh my God, Julian's voice. Julian hates voice. I heard that and I said, yep, I'm doing audio. So I will be audio booking that one along with a physical reread whenever I do that. And then Quicksilver. Here's the thing. I have listened to quite a bit. I didn't listen to it all the way through because it came out after I had read it, of the Quicksilver audiobook before the second book comes out. I will be rereading it tandem on audio and physical, because this audiobook goes so hard. Oh my God. Kingfisher's voice, the way this man will have me sat, the way that he says things whenever he's being dirty, perfect. That is how I will be doing this one, okay? I know this wasn't that many audiobook recommendations because I am new to audio, fairly new. I'd say about a year into it. This is just my 2 cents, all right? Do with it what you will. I have learned I love tandem reading, okay? Tandem reading is so much fun. And if you struggle paying attention like I do when you're first starting a book, absolutely tandem. I hope this helped you find your next read. I also hope it helped you want to get into audio maybe. I don't know, it's fun. You can listen at whatever speed you want to. Audiobook listening is still reading. I don't care. And on that note, I hope that you guys have a wonderful reading week. I hope that this helped you find your next read. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I will see y'all next week.